Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle something we all do, grocery shopping. But we're going to look at how to turn this everyday chore into a super simple and honestly, stress-free way to teach our kids about money.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You go into the store, you have your list, you're feeling good, and then it just turns into this endless loop of, nope, can't have that, and put that back, we don't need it. It's just exhausting, right? For you and for them.
So, let's start with the big trap we all seem to fall into. The shopping trip that accidentally becomes a sermon.
And look, it totally comes from a good place, right? We're trying to teach them about budgets, about making smart choices, but what happens is we start explaining every single thing. And pretty soon you can just see their eyes glaze over. They've completely tuned us out.
Yep, there it is, the classic eye roll. That's the signal, right? It's the universal sign that whatever we're saying, it is not getting through. The lecture method just flat out fails. The lesson's gone, and all that's left is frustration on both sides.
Okay, so if that doesn't work, what does? Well, this is where things get really interesting. The big secret here is about making a simple shift from giving a speech to starting a conversation. Because here's the thing, real financial education isn't a one-way street. It's not a lecture. It's about showing them, talking with them, and turning it into the shared thing you do together. The learning just kind of happens naturally in that back and forth.
So this whole idea is built on three really simple but powerful truths. First, kids learn way more from what we do than what we say. Second, that tone we use, words like you must or you can't, they just shut the conversation down. And third, the best lessons aren't these big, planned-out speeches. They're the small, quick chats that happen in the moment.
And this is such a great way to see that change in action. Just look at the words. Instead of you must, it becomes, hey, what do you think? Instead of you're not allowed, it becomes about making a choice. You're basically turning a boring lesson into a kind of game. And that simple switch, it changes everything.
All right, so that's the big idea. But how do we actually do this? Let's get into some super practical strategies you can use, like on your very next trip to the store. It boils down to these 4 simple things. 1. Get them involved. 2. Ask questions instead of giving orders. 3. Keep your explanations short and sweet. And 4. Just show them how it's done through your own behavior. See? We're not trying to make things more complicated here. We're just changing how we talk while pushing that cart.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? In a loud, busy supermarket with distractions everywhere. Let's play out a few scenarios we all know too well.
So, tip number 1 actually starts before you even grab your keys. Try this. Set a small budget together for one free choice item. By doing this up front, you're not just setting a boundary, you're giving them a little bit of power and control, but within a limit you're both clear on. It's a total game changer.
And then it happens. That moment we all kind of dread, right? They spot it. The super sugary, brightly colored cereal box, or the candy right by the register. Our gut reaction is just a flat no. But wait, this is actually the perfect opportunity for that dialogue we were talking about.
And this phrase is just perfect. It does 2 things at once. First, it validates how they feel. I get it, you really want that. But then it gently, but firmly holds the line. It's not a harsh no, never. It's a not today. And that little difference teaches them about patience, about waiting, about planning for next time.
Here's another great little moment you can use. You see something on sale. Now, that's not just about saving a few bucks. It's a perfect opening for a tiny lesson. You can have a quick 10-second chat about why it's on sale and if it's actually a good value for your family. It's such an easy way to start talking about the difference between price and value.
Okay, so as we start to bring this all together, let's just step back and reframe the whole thing. What is a trip to the grocery store really? I think the most important thing to take away from all this is that we can just let go of all that pressure. We don't have to make every single aisle a big moral lesson on the evils of spending. It can actually be so much simpler and, frankly, a lot more fun than that. So instead of seeing it as a chore, or even a battle, we can start to see it for what it is, a fantastic, real-world opportunity that happens every single week. It's like a low-stakes training ground for some of the biggest skills they'll ever need: managing money, making choices, and being responsible. And the secret sauce that makes it all work? It's not about having these long, deep conversations. Not at all. It's just about keeping the chats short, warm, and doing it consistently. That's it.
That's what builds the good habits and makes these little lessons actually sink in.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. How can you take just one of these little ideas and give it a shot on your next trip to the store? Because honestly, turning a dreaded chore into a moment where you can connect and teach, that's one of the most powerful things we can do. Thanks for tuning in.